Okay, we're about to kick off turn number 5, July 38. Officially, Germany turn 5.1 in Operation Live and Let Die. So up to this point, there hasn't been a lot of action going on. A little bit of skirmishing in China, that civil war. A little bit of back and forth in Spain and that civil war. And then down here, the conquest of Abyssinia by the Italians. That's it. But we're going to see our first major engagement of the war over here in Spain. So the Nationalists are going to go into the lone remaining Republican territory, try to finish them off. They're going to bring in 6 infantry, 3 artillery, a cavalry, and 4 fighters against 6 infantry, a cavalry, a fighter, and a medium bomber. So we'll see how that goes. But before we get to that combat, we've got to do Germany's tech rolls. So they have 5 tech rolls again this turn, and we're going to go for heavy armor, jet fighters, advanced subs, improved construction, and attack transports. So those are going to be our 5 tech rolls. Starting with heavy armor, it requires an 8 or higher, and we got a 1, so didn't succeed there. Then jet fighters also require an 8 or higher, a 4, didn't succeed there. Advanced subs are 8 or higher, a 4, didn't succeed there. Improved construction, 7 or higher, a 10, we got that. And attack transports, 8 or higher, 2, didn't get that. So after a couple of good turns with German tech, we've now, the last couple turns, kind of fallen back a little bit. So improved construction on stage 1. So through 5 turns, Germany's at stage 2 for 5 techs and stage 1 for 3 techs. So, okay. I would prefer a little bit better, but I guess we got to live with that. As far as German purchases, they had $27 to spend this turn. They're going to save 3 and spend $24. And that's all going to go on medium armor. So this is the first turn in the game that Germany is able to purchase medium armor. And I believe they purchased it earlier by 2 turns than the rest of the countries in the game. So we're going to use a Panzer Mark III sculpt for our medium armor. They're $6 a piece. So we're going to go ahead and purchase 4 of those. And that is the $24. So now on to combat. I'll go ahead and bring over first the Republicans to the battle board here. So we've got their 6 infantry. And they all defend at a 4. Okay. Then we've got a cavalry, a medium bomber, and a fighter for the Republicans. The fighter defends at a 6, the medium bomber a 4, and the cavalry a 2. So that's what the defenders board looks like. And then we'll go ahead and bring over the Nationalists. We got 2 infantry coming down from Catalonia, and then 4 infantry coming over from Madrid. So that's 6 infantry. Okay. Just putting them over there for now. It's going to be a little bit different where they end up. And I'll explain that in a second. And then we'll bring over our cavalry and our 3 artillery. Okay. And put them over on the board. Just set those there for now. And then finally, our 4 fighters we're going to bring over. Now, the 4 fighters aren't affected by terrain or anything, so they're all 6s. But the cavalry would normally be a 3, but it's a 2 because of the mountain terrain. The 3 artillery would normally be 3s, but they're going to be 2s because of the mountain terrain. And then for the infantry, 3 of the 6 infantry are 1s because of the mountain terrain. but the other 3 can stay at 2s because they pair with the artillery. Artillery can pair up one-on-one with infantry class units to give them a +1 for their attack. So basically these 3 infantry just offset the mountain penalty by pairing up with the artillery. So that's where we're at on the battle board. Now, in combat, first strike units go first. In this case, Global War 36 Enthusiast doesn't have any first strike units. I have these 3 artillery. So they're going to get to fire first here on round 1, and any hits they score, those units are immediately removed from the battle board without being able to fire in return. So I'm going to get 3 rolls at a 2 for the 3 artillery. And, oh wow, we got a 1 and a 2. So he's going to lose 2 units without being able to fire back. So I'm going to assume he's going to lose the cavalry, the lowest defense unit, and 1 of his infantry. Okay, so those 2 are dead without being able to return fire. The next part of this is if there's any fighters in a battle, then there's something called air superiority. And what that basically means is that on the first round of combat, if you score a hit with your fighter, your opponent has to take an aircraft as a casualty, if at all possible, on the first round of combat. So in this case, my 4 fighters get any hits. He's got to take off his 2 aircraft first. He, in return, has 1 fighter. So if his fighter gets a hit on the first round of combat, I have to take off 1 of my fighters. Okay, so that's the whole air superiority, and it's for the first round of combat only. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 4 dice for my fighters, and I need a 6 or less with these rolls. So we've got 11, 10, 7, and 5. So I only scored 1 hit. So he, I assume, would lose his medium bomber, considering that defends less. Okay, so then we're going to move on to my remaining ground units. The 3 artillery already fired. So I've got 4 remaining 2s, 3 infantry, and a cavalry. So let's go ahead and roll these 4 2s. And holy cow, we got 2 hits again. So he would lose, I assume, 2 infantry. So my 2s are rolling a lot better than my 6s right now. Okay, then I've got 3 infantry left at 1s. So 3 1s here. And we get no hits, a 7, a 5, and 11. Okay. So then in return, he's going to first fire. He's going to first use his fighter. And again, if he gets a hit with this on a 6 or less, I have to lose a fighter. And he got a 9. So no hit there. Then he's got 3 5 infantry and 1 medium bomber, all at 4 or less. So that's a total of 6 rolls at 4 or less. And he got 3 hits, 2 4s and a 1. Okay, so I got to lose 3 units, and his 2 infantry and his medium bomber that were casualties are now done. I'm going to go ahead and lose my 3 infantry that were attacking at a 1. Okay, so now we're on to round 2. I've got my 4 fighters. Now, he does not have to lose his fighter as a casualty now that we're on to round 2. So my 4 fighters at 6 or less. I got a 1, a 2, a 10, and an 8. So 2 hits. So he's going to lose 2 infantry as casualties. I then now have 7 2s, my 3 artillery, my 3 infantry, and my 1 cavalry. So 7 2s. I only brought 6 dice with me. So we'll do the first 6 rolls at a 2 first. And we get no hits. 3 8s, a 7, a 5, and a 3. So no hits there. And then we get 1 more roll at a 2 and a 3, no hits. So I only inflicted 2 casualties that turn. So he's got 3 infantry left at a 4. and he gets a 3, a 10, and 11. So I'm going to lose my cavalry for the casualty. I'll remove his 2 infantry that had suffered casualties. And he gets his fighter at a 6. And a 6, he scores a hit. So I'm going to lose one of my remaining 3 infantry. Okay. So now, round 3, I've got my 4 fighters at 6s. And we've got a 4 and a 5. That's enough because he's only got 2 units left. So his infantry at a 4 and his fighter at a 6 are casualties. We'll go ahead and roll for his infantry first of a 4. He hits with a 3. His fighter at a 6 hits at a 2. So I lose 2 more units. So I'll lose 2 infantry. Okay. And that finishes off the Republicans in Spain. We'll go ahead and put we have 4 fighters and 3 artillery left from the battle. So we'll go ahead and put those on the board. So that is now the last territory in Spain that has been taken by the Nationalists. So they have now won the Spanish Civil War. So that is 1 victory point for each Germany and Italy, as well as that supplies 1 free infantry unit per turn to Germany and Berlin up until the point that Spain enters the conflict, if they ever do. Okay. Also, the Republican ships get removed from the board. In essence, they just get scuttled. So we'll take those 3 ships off the board. And that's it for combat. So now on to non-combat. We're going to go ahead and bring these 2 nationalist ships, 1, 2, down here in C Zone 79. Okay. Then we've got the 4 planes that engaged in combat all fly back to Madrid. Okay. So those 4 are all in Madrid. And then in Germany, for non-combat, the Germans are going to go ahead and send this light armor that's in Slovakia. It's going to go 1 to Bohemia and 2 into Bavaria. So that is now sitting in Bavaria. Okay. And that's it for non-combat. So then as far as unit placement goes, we'll go ahead and grab our 4 medium armor. And all 4 medium armor are going to be placed down in West Germany. Okay. So I'll make room. Oh, just knock that over. So we'll go ahead and make room for... we'll clean that all up after the video. So basically all 4 medium armor went into West Germany. So that's everything else stayed there. So everything's set with unit placement. And then as far as income goes, Germany's still at $24. So they collect that 24, the 3 they had left over. So that gives them $27 to spend on turn number 6. So that's it for Germany and Nationalist Spain, turn 5.1. I'm turning things over now to Global War 36 enthusiast for the common turn in 5.2. See you guys later.